Some of you that watch every day probably felt something was a little bit out of sync, not really jiving properly, the energy wasn't right, and you would be right. You would have been correct. Congratulations, you win a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but you win it. The question is, are you depressed? Because I feel like I'm going through it right now. It's not severe, nowhere near as bad as I was when I was in my early 20s or even mid 20s with another problem. But I've not had this type of situation for probably 4 or 5 years now, and that time it was because I had a really bad injury and I couldn't walk for a few months, and obviously that's going to mess you up. This time round it is not as severe, so I am seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But it just goes to show you just one thing can completely destroy you, even if it's something that a lot of people wouldn't even notice, a lot of people wouldn't even pick up on. And I'm not saying people wouldn't pick up on you feeling different or having a different energy, but they wouldn't attribute the thing that's happened to be the reason why. You'd just completely changed physically, mentally, verbally, all over. So in this case, I've not worked out for 2-3 weeks now because I had a pretty bad wrist injury, and I think it's the longest I've taken off working out for 4 years, right? Since I had my very, very bad foot problem. Wrecked my foot, tore it apart. It ballooned up to the size of a peach, my ankle, and it's a disgusting image. Point being, this time round, hopefully in a week or two, I'll be able to start lifting again. But I'm just here to say, shit gets better. I know it does. I've been through far worse than 2 or 3 weeks of messed up hormones, not being able to regulate myself mentally and physically and all the other ways that you do by working out properly. But it's something that has really jaded the way I'm seeing the world over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's really severe. Everything looks a little less colourful. That's a real thing. Everything feels a little less fun. That's a real thing. And you don't want to be putting on an act. I'm past that point where, I'm just going to pretend like everything's fine. I'm just going to kind of just close off a little bit. And that's it. And a lot of people are like that. Others like to just put on a facade. And that's chill. Whatever you need to do to get through your situation, you do it. But you do need to get through it. And for some people, that's medication. For me, I've never been a fan of that. The more I read about it, I said, get that shit away from me. But if that's what helps you, then that's what helps you. I know in the case of the last time I was severely bad, it was a lot of naproxen, anti-inflammatories that you kind of got reliant on, and you don't want to be doing that ever. Never ever. So yeah, whatever your fix is, find it. It's tough. It really is. When you're young, you'll have other people there to help get you out of it, if you're lucky. When you're older, it's not like that. So count your blessings and work through it.